Watching the say, baby, started give me pressure. Myself I did wonder. Now I don't tire. Now it's done wahala. With this song, she dey give me pressure. Myself I did wonder. Now I don't tire.
Welcome to newcomers.
Thank you for joining us. Baby, they give me precious. Baby, they give me pressure. She dey call me on my telephone. They ask me why I don't go. Baby, why you do me so? Don't be say I'm full. Make you give me break, 'cause I don't dey shake. Catch her in the place, we go make it hit. Down the window, way back where I started talk, say you sure say you never go worry. When you tell me stay, baby, I know they got you. Now you they give me precious.
Thank you for joining us. This is Legal Matters, bringing you the undiluted UK immigration law update and advice.
All the girls won't see me, all the girls won't feel me, all the girls won't try me, 'cause I have petroleum company.
As soon as you join us,
someone die me, someone kill me, someone tell me why.
Share the program for us.
'Cause it sound like them they play some song, way they go like that.
Michael Alpha,
where all the girls they can post. Hey,
good morning to you.
Some say buy them pizza.
And thank you for joining us.
Some say pamangapa. This pressure they lie. I won't go hey bye bye. Distance when you do the way you love the this on your say why. Say me nim me open your car, mommy won't so say why. It's the pressure yeah. With this song she dey give me pressure. Myself I do wonder. Now I don't tire. Now it's come wahala. With this song she dey give me pressure. Myself I do wonder. Now I don't tire. Now it's come wahala. With this
share the program for us as soon as you join us. Gloria, we have a good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
My life companion, wanna go take them to the but now she dey give me
bringing in the legal matters, all legal updates, for particular reference to immigration and nationality of the United Kingdom. Number one show in the diaspora. Emmanuel Kwate, good morning to you. As soon as you join us, share the program for us. Pressure.
Now I don't tire. Now it's come wahala.
That's right.
She dey give me pressure. Myself I do wonder. Now I don't tire.
Yes, now I get tired from the pressure. Yes, thank you for joining us. This is the Legal Matters, the number one undiluted show from the United Kingdom. Today, we are going to be looking at all areas, different areas of UK immigration law, and also we'll be looking at the criminal justice system, the new law that is being implemented. The whole idea is to educate our people and also to educate the masses so that we can alter our behaviors as well in order for us not to get into trouble. So today we will be looking at the new sexual harassment law, what is going through Parliament, and very soon it's going to be the law of the land. It's very, very important that we understand this. Why am I saying that? Because in some circumstances or certain acts, sometimes we may take it as a joke. But ignorance of the law is no excuse. And once you breach the law or you act contradictory to the law will deal with you. So it's for that reason I thought today it's important that we talk about this. So that just in case, someone is found of doing some of these acts, the person can then advise himself and also behave himself. Today we will also be talking about British citizenship for children born outside the United Kingdom. Of late, we are doing a lot of such applications for a lot of people, where a man or a woman is British, he or she will find herself or himself outside the United Kingdom, and a child is born. Sometimes people are in a dilemma whether they should apply for indefinite leave to enter for the children to come to the UK and join them or accompany them, or whether to apply for British passport direct. This has been a source of confusion for a lot of people. So today we will take our time and talk about that, and also the procedure, the process, what you need to do, what you have to go through in order to get a British passport for your child. We'll be looking at that from the beginning up to the time that the child will obtain his or her British passport to enable him or her to come to the UK as a citizen. We will also be looking at letters of support. Many a times, when people are doing an application and you ask them to get letters of support, it's a question that always comes back to Lawyer Darko. How did they write it? What should they write? I think it's important that we talk about this. So it's not only about immigration cases, but just in general, if you have to write letters of support to support someone's application or to support someone, whatever the person is doing. Today, I'm going to be talking about the do's and don'ts. I'm going to give some ideas when you are writing a letter of support, how it should look like, what should go in, so that when we ask people to come for letters of support, they will also have an idea what to tell those people who are willing and who are prepared to write such letters of support. We will be looking at that as well. If you have just tuned in, I will ask that you share the program for us as well, so that those people who are unable to get automatic notification, who have not yet subscribed, they will then be able to, if you like, have access to the link and also to watch the program live, and if possible, to enable them to ask any questions that they may have at the end of the program, and also to contribute to the program. This is a big program, and it's been ongoing for the past 12 to 13 years. The program is called the Legal Matters Emremunsem, and it's from the Camp of Justice and Law Solicitors, Unit 35B, 49 Efrat Road, Brixton, London, SW2 1BZ. If you want to book appointment to come and see us, our telephone number is on the screen, which is 0207 993 5976. I'll repeat the number once again. It's 07538 969 589. You can also call us on our landline, which is 0207 993 5976. You can always call us and we are there for you. Our main areas of law that we specialize are immigration and nationality law of the United Kingdom. Regardless of where you are in the UK, i.e. being in Scotland, being in Northern Ireland, being in England, or being in Wales, we can help you with your legal problems. If you need to get a Ghana affidavit for lost passports, justice and law, this is something that we deal with as well. And if you have to draft any legal document, change of name by deed poll, and so on and so forth, also get in touch with us and we'll be able to help you. Also we do employment law, and also we do landlord and tenant possession proceedings. We'll be able to assist you. So by all means, if you have any legal problem, just get in touch. If it's something that we can help you with, we will let you know. If it's something that we cannot help you with, by all means, we can even recommend someone who will be able to help you. So by all means, we are there to serve the community. We are there for you, justice and law for you, and it's Justice and Law Solicitors Hour on legal matters. So thank you very much for joining us. Now, let's look at this. What do we have for you today? Today we are going to be talking about three main areas, and also we'll be giving general advice to our brothers and sisters who have just joined us in the UK. Through Justice and Law Solicitors, day in and day out, every week, we have someone from somewhere around the globe joining a spouse in the United Kingdom. And we have been playing a major part in helping families to come together, helping families to join others in the United Kingdom. And as a result, for me, it's not just about doing the visa application form and getting them in. The question is, once you have obtained the visa application, Justice and Law, we give aftercare service as well for free, which we don't charge. Once we help you to get the visa, the question is, once you obtain the visa, is that it? Or there is more that needs to be done? Many times people get a visa and they think that is it. They've got a visa and therefore they are in the United Kingdom. My friends, my brothers, my sisters, let me tell you this. Getting the visa is the first step. Being able to clear entry clearance and actually enter the country is the second step. The third step, which is the most important, is being able to survive. The word is survival. Because if you are not strong, believe in me, you may perk up and you may go back. If you are not strong, life can become hell in the diaspora. When I say life can become hell, it means if you don't get the right people and the right influence, once you have made it into the country, provided that you are not lazy, provided you yourself, you are going to play straight and you are going to be serious about life, then life can be very, very sweet. But if you meet the wrong people, it's a combination of factors. You meet the wrong people who are not going to say anything to encourage you, to motivate you, to do better things with yourself. Or you yourself, you are not motivated, you are not serious, then life can become hell in this country for you. So despite the fact that you can obtain the visa, that is the first step. Entry clearance, getting into the country. Because once you get to the airport, it's not as straightforward as sometimes people may make it look. It's also an obstacle to be able to go through entry clearance. A lot of people get detained at the entry clearance. A lot of visas get cancelled at the entry clearance. A lot of people also get removed at the entry clearance. So do not think for one moment that as soon as you get your entry clearance, then that is it. You're done. I've come across cases where people will not even tell their lawyers that they've got a visa because they owe the lawyer money, and therefore they are so smart and so clever, they will not even tell the lawyer. It's called criminal, it's theft. And therefore they will just try their luck. They get to the airport entry clearance, they get stopped, And all of a sudden, the lawyer that they are trying to hide things from is the one that gets called. And if the lawyer insists that my balance is paid before I even listen to you, sometimes people don't understand, or they don't want to understand, because anyone with a common sense will see that it's only logical. So please, getting the visa, that is part of the deal. Entry clearance, that is part of the deal. And once you enter the country, justice and law, like I said, we give aftercare advice. How to apply for national insurance number, how to even obtain your biometric residency permit from the post office, how to open a bank account, how to go about in looking for a job. You know, recently I came across an article that this lady said that she's been applying for jobs, about 40 jobs, not even one interview. And she believed that the advert that she saw was a scam. Yes, because some companies, they are under legal obligation to advertise any position. That does not mean that it has not been given to someone or someone will be favored. So it's very, very important that we understand the country that we live in and the intricacies, how things work in this country. Because if you think you know it, you will get a shock. You could apply for jobs upon jobs upon jobs. You will not even get an interview. So that is life. You need to understand how the system works and make the system work for you. So today, we'll be looking at, after entry, i.e. On entrance, some of the things that you will encounter. And also, once you actually come into the country, then what is it that you need to do to better your life and to better yourself? And also seeking the right counsels. Because life that we have, there are some people that their life is messed up. So if you go to such a person to advise you, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, very few people will say to you that, I went this way, it didn't work for me, so be very careful, don't go that slimy route. But believe in me, some people will actually make sure that you will be like them. So show me your friends and I will know your character. It's very, very important. And life is not about race. Don't let anyone pressure you. That's the reason why I was playing the song. Don't give me pressure, pressure, pressure. Don't let anyone pressure you. Life is not a race. And even if life is a race, let's take this analogy. 100 meters, people start on the same line, right? Let's just assume life is a race, which I disagree with that proposition. Life is not a race. Let's assume that we are starting 100 meters. We all start on the same equal footing. And as the bell rings, people will begin to race. And you will see that some people may be more equipped within the first 50 meters. They are ahead. As they are going 60 meters, sometimes they may falter. Someone from behind can overtake. And then sometimes, the person that was even far behind at the start of the race may, in some cases, overtake and win the race. All that I'm saying is life is not a race. And life is one big road and there is full of signs. As you go along, you are going to meet obstacles. Once you come into this country, there are going to be challenges. But all that I say is that he who does equity must do so with clean hands. Make sure your conscience is clear. Not say it. Make people see that your conscience is clear. Your heart is pure as gold. Because a man is a man and you are what you think. If you think positive, positive will happen. And if you think negative, negative will happen. In everything that you do, you have to be positive. Have positive mentality. And work hard. Don't be lazy. I always say hard work doesn't kill, but laziness kills. So work hard. You know your mission, why you came to this country. And be respectful above all. Be respectful. Because we live in a country that you don't show anyone respect, no one will show you respect. Because in this country, everyone lives in pressure. And everyone is under pressure. You show respect, you show kindness, respect and kindness will come your way. And it will visit your house as well. You show wickedness and nastiness, believe in me, karma, like they say, is a biatch. And it might also chase you. So today, we are going to be practical. We're going to give practical advice to our sisters, our brothers who have just joined us this week. Justice and law solicitors, roughly speaking, we have helped people. And in fact, this week from last Sunday up to today, we have helped people, about at least about 10 people who have entered the country. And during the course of the week, they've been in contact with me. How do I apply for national insurance number? How do I look for work? How do I do this? So that is the reason why it kind of come to my mind that maybe this is something that I ought to also talk about. There are certain things that we take it for granted, because I assume that, if you're coming to join your husband, since your husband is already in the system, your husband should know what you should do. That was my assumption, but I was wrong, because some people live in the system, they don't know anything. Why is it that they don't know anything? Because whoever helped them to come in never taught them anything. And therefore they live in the darkness. How can they see the light and spread upon people that they have invited to join them? It's impossible. So things that I took for granted, I for everyone knew. This week it has been transparent that not everyone knows. And therefore the need for me to also to talk about this so that people can learn from the system and how the system operates in the United Kingdom. Right. Where do we start? The do's and the don'ts. Supporting letters. Or maybe I should start from people who have just joined us and what is expected before I go to the main topic. So let me start from there. We all know, for example, spousal applications. We've done this topic before. I'm not going to go through that again today because of time factor, but I'm going to start from where the visa is issued. It's very, very important. Sometimes, once we get a visa, we assume that that is it. We are already in the United Kingdom. And I'm going to use practical examples. What has happened to people, just to educate us. I work in the field, and I've been working in this field since 2001. So experience, sometimes they say, is the best teacher. Experience, sometimes they say, is the best teacher. I've been in this field for over 21 years now. And therefore, with the experience and the cases that I've come across, I believe that by talking about some of these things will open a door for someone. If someone has got a visa, the person is about to come, it's very, very important. If you are going to invite your wife, your husband, your child, and they are about to come, also it's very, very important that you equip yourself with this knowledge. So that before even they board the plane, you can then educate them, you can then teach them what to expect in the United Kingdom from the airport all the way to entry clearance. It's very, very important. Now, say your wife or your spouse, your partner, has obtained a visa. Justice and law has been kind, competent, as usual, help you for your wife to obtain the visa. The most important thing, I must say, is your legal fee. Make sure at that point, you call your lawyer and settle any difference. Because the unwritten rule within Ghanaians, or maybe Africans in general, when the thing is £5 and they are holding £5, for whatever reason, some of us, we never want to make full payment. So instead, can I pay some, and I will pay some when the visa is obtained. So out of passion, out of compassion, out of love, out of trust, even though the lawyer is not going to do 50% of the job or 80% of the job, for him to get paid 80%, we expect the lawyer to do 100% of the job, but yet we want to pay the lawyer 80% of the money. Then when the visa is, obtained, then you pay the 20%. Some people do it for strategic reasons. Some people do it because they don't have the money. That is fine. But some people do it because in their head they are thinking, if I pay all the money and the visa does not succeed, then I lose money. That is some of them, that is their thinking. And for me, once you have this way of thinking, if you're not careful, you reap what you sow. What you think is what is going to happen. Because you're doing something and you yourself, you don't have hope in it. Or you don't have trust in it. And moreover, this is something important. When you go and see a lawyer and the lawyer does what we call fixed fee, whether you like it or not, it's a fixed fee and therefore you must pay, whether the application is successful or not. So even if you pay 80% and the lawyer wants to pursue you for it, the lawyer can still pursue you for the balance. We really have to understand this. If you feel application is refused and the lawyer has been negligent, then you can sue the lawyer for negligence, professional negligence. That is your remedy. But you cannot put it in your mind that if the application is so successful, I'm not going to pay. If you want to go in that agreement, then you have to tell the lawyer, I want to do no win, no fee. With no win, no fee, you don't pay any money at all. So if you don't get your visa, then of course you don't pay the lawyer no jack, nothing, zero, point, no point. So that is what happens. So if you're one of those people with the mind that if it doesn't succeed, I won't pay, then it's important that you go into no win, no fee agreement. If the lawyer agreed to that, then of course the lawyer is taking a risk. And if the lawyer do the application and you don't get what you are looking for, then you are under no obligation to pay the lawyer his fee. However, if you do what we call a fixed fee agreement, where the fee is fixed, that one you don't have any choice. Whether the visa is issued or not, you are still liable to pay the lawyer's fee. So you may pay 10%, you may pay 2%, whatever percent that you may pay. The lawyer is still entitled to take his fee, full fees. So it's not only entry clearance that this happens. It happens everywhere, any agreement that you may have. So it's something that we really need to understand. If your intention is not to pay the lawyer's fee on an event that you don't win your case, then you tell the lawyer, are you happy to do it on the basis of no win, no fee? If the lawyer say yes, then of course, if you don't get your visa, you don't pay. That is how it is. But if it's a fixed fee, sorry, whether you like it or not, whether it succeeds or not, it's a fixed fee. An agreement is an agreement, and unfortunately, you will still have to pay. So that is how it is. So we need to understand this concept. No fee, no win, no fee, and a fixed fee. So let's assume that basically we done the visa application through the competency of justice and law solicitors led by lawyer David Darko. You have won your case. You have got your visa and you've come to the United Kingdom. You are coming to the United Kingdom. What is it that you need to be aware of? What is it that you need to make sure that you do in order not to have any problems at the entry clearance? Entry clearance point, so much happens, so much goes on, and I can tell you, Heathrow Terminal 5 and Terminal 3 is not a joke, especially EEA nationals and their family members. Almost every week we are getting phone calls, people who have been detained, people whose visas are being cancelled at the airport, because when you get there, unfortunately, the entry clearance officers, they've got the right to stop anyone entering the country and ask them questions. So if you get there and they stop you and they start asking you questions and they are not satisfied with the answers that you provide, the entry clearance officer will be left with a few choices. One of the choices, one of the powers that they have is one, either to detain you. They can detain you pending an investigation as to the legality and the truthfulness and also how you obtain your 5 years settlement scheme or pre-settlement scheme visa. So when you get there, sometimes most of the cases that we've come across recently, they are simply going to ask you questions as to how you obtain your visa. If you obtain it through your wife or your husband, then the next question is, where is your husband? Where is your wife? As we also know, as we may know, since we come out of the European Union, now when you get to the airport, your visa or your passport are stamps in some cases, and in some cases you need to scan it. And when you scan it, it goes into the data. So Home Office are now able to check who is coming and who is going and at what times. So if, for example, you enter the country today, it's very easy for the Home Office to look at the data and they will see who have come in today. So for example, you tell me as an immigration officer that your husband, who is an EEA national, as an example, is working in the United Kingdom, is living in the United Kingdom. And it is the case that your husband or your wife, for whatever reason, the record shows he or she has just entered the country only a day before your arrival. Straight away, it starts creating suspicion. And once the suspicion starts creating, then more questions will then be fired at you. And if your answers do not go accordingly, then of course you stand a risk of your visa being curtailed, cancelled, or revoked, or in a worst case scenario, you could be removed from the United Kingdom. So it's very, very, very important that we understand this. Immigration officers can stop you and question you on entry. So if Lawyer Darko, for example, do your application and you obtain your visa, and you told Lawyer Darko that you are facing financial difficulties and therefore at the point of the application, you can only pay 80% through sympathy and understanding, Lawyer Darko agrees for you to pay 80%. Once the visa is obtained, you pay your 20%. Lawyer Darko has given you a call that the visa has been granted. Get your wife to pick up the visa, and your wife pick up the visa. Fantastic. Instead of paying Lawyer Darko his 20% that is left, you start telling stories. All of a sudden, you think you've got the upper hand, you want to play games with Lawyer Darko. The day that your wife is coming, you don't even tell Lawyer Darko. You buy your plane ticket, all of a sudden you are Ajiman. Ojiman, you know it all. You don't pay Lawyer Darko, your wife comes to Heathrow, your wife gets detained. You never told Lawyer Darko. Lawyer Darko is going his own life. Saturday, I'm doing my Saturday show. All of a sudden, you are calling non-stop because you need my help. It's not possible to stop the show and attend to you during these hours. And for that reason, I will concentrate on people listening to me and give them what they need. However, if the person had told me in advance that, oh, lawyer, this is my 20%, my wife is coming on such and such a date, could you please be on standby just in case? It makes sense. In this type of scenario, even if I'm doing a show, I will excuse the audience and pick up the phone call. But if you are owing me money you haven't paid, and still you want me to do more, unfortunately, it is not done anywhere and no one will do it. So it's very, very important that when you are dealing with people, be fair. If you are coming from Ghana, a lawyer has helped you to obtain the visa. The first thing that you must do once you collect your visa is to get in touch with the lawyer. Why? Because we work on the field and every day what is happening, we see it. We get to know it firsthand. Even before you buy your ticket, you must correspond with your lawyer. You must communicate with your lawyer so that if there are any tips and any advice, then they can also give you a bit of hint and advice as well, which is very, very helpful to a lot of people. Lawyer Darko, like I said, aftercare services. Because once you obtain the visa, that is not the end of it. You still have to go through entry clearance. And it can be challenging for some people. So what I will say is this. When you are coming to the United Kingdom to join a loved one, a spouse, a parent, and so on and so forth, please be very, very, very careful. It's not everyone that love you. It's not everyone that you move with also have a good intention for you. Life that we lead sometimes, when you are down with someone, the person will love you forever. But as soon as the Almighty God begin to raise you, once things begin to happen for you. All of a sudden, the love that the person have for you sometimes can become hatred. Someone was watching me and the person is saying, how can this be possible? I don't want to go far, and the Bible for me is there as a guide. We can look at stories in the Bible where sometimes jealousy, even among family members, can lead to the proposition of someone wanting that person to be killed. And I don't want to look far. Just look at the story of Joseph. At least you all have an idea about Joseph. Joseph wasn't the eldest in his family, but yet the anointing of God was upon him. He had dreams. He told his parents, he told his brothers. All of a sudden, the jealousy started kicking in. What they said was that, you small boy, are you telling us that God is going to make you greater than I? Even his own parents, they could not accept that God has revealed to him that he was going to be big. And as a result, his own flesh and blood plotted against him. They did what? They plotted against him. Some of them say, let's kill him. Some of them say, what? Let's sell him. In the end, they thought by selling him, his dreams will be shattered. And as a result, they sold him to the Pharaoh. But he who Jah bless, no one cares. He raised up. He rise. He went up. And he became what? He became a general of the Egyptian army and also the Egyptian kingdom. Sometimes that is how God works. Look at the story of Cain and Abel. The book of Genesis tells us so. Cain said, no, you Abel, you need to go. So when you get your visas, do not think that everyone around you is going to be happy for you. That's the world that we live in. That is the sad reality about life. And therefore, you have to be very, very careful. Some of us in Ghana, when they are traveling, they will not even tell anyone. They will only tell very few close friends. I don't blame them. Because sometimes when you are down with someone, they have the love for you. As soon as you tell them that you've got a visa, you are coming to the United Kingdom, all of a sudden jealousy may kick in. And we know what jealousy can do. It can lead to death. It can lead to destruction. So for me, when people are traveling and they don't tell a lot of people, I understand. And therefore, people have their own reasons of doing things. And therefore, you have to respect that. Now, once you get your visa, then of course, you need to buy a ticket. You also need to buy a little bit of, provisions or whatever, clothing, and so on and so forth. It's very, very important that we understand the weather. How the weather is going to be like in our destination where we are going. So, for example, immigration officers, their psychology, how they are thought. If you are coming from Ghana, for example, today, the sun is burning, the weather is hot, and you are wearing a coat from Ghana to the UK, as soon as you land and you are wearing a coat, straight away you are picked on. That this is not normal behavior. But when you are coming from Ghana, the stereotype is that Europe is cold place, America is cold place. And therefore, in your psyche, you think that is hot, is going to be cold on your arrival. and therefore you need your coat. So your instinct and your survival instinct telling you to buy a coat so that you can wear it to be able to weather the storm, weather the coldness at the airport, will be deemed to be abnormal because today's weather is hot. So you come out of the plane, you are wearing your coat, they might watch you and think, what is wrong with this man? In this hot weather, and you are wearing a coat, something is not right. First suspicion. Before you know, you get stopped and questions are being fired at you. Some of us, the accent is very difficult to understand. Coming from Africa for the first time at the airport, if the immigration officer does not speak Queen's English, when I say clear English, then you are in trouble. If the officer has got an accent and the officer's accent is not clear, you are in trouble. Because once they will start firing questions at you, you may get confused, you may not understand, and sometimes cultural differences, you may just be laughing. Every time you are asked a question, you are laughing. And even when there is nothing to laugh about. So these are the things that justice and law solicitors, we will teach you before even you come to the country. We will go through the expectation from the airport once you get off the plane. The fact that as soon as you get off the plane, many a times you have cameras everywhere watching you. Not only that, you have immigration officers first line greeting you with dogs. Most of us, we are scared of dogs because we think all dogs are wild and therefore they are going to bite you. So when they are coming closer to us, we start moving. When immigration officer is looking at the cameras and they see you moving, they think you are hiding or you don't want the dog to come to you. And therefore, once again, it could be a source of suspicion. With justice and law, we will advise you that those dogs are harmless. When they are coming, just stay still. Let them come and sniff and go about their business. It's very, very important. And above all, when you are traveling to this country, personally, I've said this and I will say this again. Never take anything from anyone, regardless of who the person is. Every commodity, every item that someone will give to you to bring to the UK, they sell it here in the UK. The excuses that people give is that, oh, but the ones that they sell in the UK is expensive. If you are not careful and you bring a product to the UK and that product is not acceptable, you could find yourself in a mess, believe in me. The best that you find yourself, believe in me, the expense of buying it from the UK is cheaper than the mess that you find yourself in. Because if you're in a mess and you call Lawyer Darkon to come to your rescue, it's not going to be free. I will charge accordingly. Law Society's requirement, Law Society's recommendation, anyone practicing for more than 10 years, just outside the central London, you can charge up to £280 per hour. So therefore, if you call Lawyer Darkon and I'm charging you £180 per hour, it's even a bargain. You need to ask yourself, the Kobe, the Totobi, Kotokankan, and those stuff that we impose on people, we insist that you should bring it to the United Kingdom. If you buy them here, will it cost £180 per hour? I don't know. Personally, when someone gives you something to bring, if, you know, for whatever reason, you cannot say no to the person, Massa, there is always an excuse. Leave that stuff behind and tell the person that you are sorry, you couldn't bring it because your stuff was overloaded or you forgot. Trust me. Or tell the person straight, sorry, I cannot take it. Because ultimately, you must never take anything from anyone. Because at the airport, the first question that they ask you is this: did you pack the stuff yourself? You're going to say yes. What if the person has put something that should not be in? Illegal substance. We all know what happened to Ohenebe Dramina coming to the UK. One of his close allies gave him a bag. And when he was coming, the dog sniffed something. They searched the bag, they couldn't see anything. And therefore the holder of the bag, you know, they cut it and they saw white stuff coming out of it. He knew nothing about it, but you've been caught with it. even though in the end he was innocent, but he spent some time in prisons in the United Kingdom. You see, so life, trust is a big issue. And for me, traveling, international travel, don't joke with it. Because people do stuff. And if you are not lucky, if you are not, lucky, you end up being a drug courier for someone. So we have to be very, 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 very careful. It's very important. Very, very important. So we need to do that. We need to be very, very careful. And when we are coming, we should not bother taking stuff that does not belong to us and stuff that we are not going to be using. Because once you get to the entry clearance, and for example, they look at your bag and they see different things, that alone is a source of questioning. They may question you, what is this? Why are you bringing this? And so on and so forth. And sometimes it could lead to problems. So, bro, for yet to send me now we could draw near busa questions upon questions. I'm trying to flip. Now I feel no, I quite offer a semaba. And to bre ama and kamane ama. Travel less and be very, very careful. So, justice and law solicitors, aftercare advice that we give to our clients. Once they manage to enter into the country, then of course, the first thing that they have to do is to go and get their BRP card at the post office. And once the visa is issued, they will give you a letter that will have the name of the post office that you have to take your BRP card. Once you come in, wait for a day or two before you go to the post office to get your biometric residency permit card. Once you get your biometric residency permit card, the first thing that you must do is to go to and register at your local GP, general practice, so that you get that sorted. And then you go online and apply for national insurance and you start looking for work. If you came with a 6 months visa, then you have to do another application for further leave to remain for 5 years. And then from there on, you integrate. One thing that I must also say is this. Once you have made up your mind that you are coming to stay in this country, it's also very, very important that we learn the culture, we learn the language, and pick up some of the good stuff within the dominant culture, which in this case is the English culture. Some of us, when we travel, we never want to learn. We still want to do things the same old way as we used to do back in our home country. But we must also remember that geographically, we have changed location. And every land that you live on, they will have their own culture, practices, custom, conventions. No one says you should throw away your culture, but you must ensure and do the best that you can, that you also learn as much as you can about the dominant culture. Why am I saying this? We have people living in this country for over 30 years, 40 years. If you ask them whether they have been to the Houses of Parliament, even if they know where it is, they will tell you no. If you ask them whether they have been to the beach side, they will say no. If you ask them whether they've been to central London, they say no. Whether they have been to outside London, they say no. Where do you live? I live in Brixton. Where do you work? I work in Brixton. So their life is like homework. Either they are home cooking or they are at work working for money. That is their life. I don't blame anyone. People choose to lead their life how they see fit. But it's also important that you broaden your knowledge. You broadened your knowledge by visiting places of interest. Some of the museums, Sunday is free. If you are not working, do the best that you can. Just go online and research. Every now and then, if you are in a church or join a group, an association. Be part of something. Don't lead lonely life, because the life that we lead, every now and then you are also going to need people. That is the reason why, for me, I always speak against arrogance. Because no man is an island, and therefore, even if you die, it will take someone to bury you, regardless of who you are. You know, so it's very, very important that we associate one way or the other. But the most important thing is associating yourself with the right people. So all that I say is this: apart from securing a job and also having somewhere to stay, your day offs, be involved, do activities. Even if it's a voluntary work, do voluntary work. It will get you out of the house. It will help you to meet new people, and it will help you to learn about different cultures. Whether we like it or not, London is a cosmopolitan society where you see different cultures, different people. The reason why I am promoting this is as follows. You see, when you get to know people, it's also open doors for you. It not only does not open doors for you, it can also open doors for your children. And I'm going to say this as a testimony to people who have ears and people who may listen. You see, my son, through friendships that I have formed with others who are not Ghanaians. As I speak to you, my son is working. My last born, is 16 years of age, and therefore legally he can work. Okay? And this summer, it's just a phone call. He didn't have to apply for a job. Okay? It's just a phone call. Hi, Johnny. My son is looking for, a position, to do A, B, C, D, and E. Are you taking people for this summer? Oh, no problem. Let him come. Just that. He did not have to complete an application form. It's just a phone call. And he got a job. 16-year-old, the amount of money that he's being paid per hour, you'll be surprised. It may not be, some will argue that it's not fair. Life is not fair. Who told you life is fair? Life is about whom you know. Make your own luck. Get to know the right people. I remember about 14 years ago, someone that I became friends with because of my daughter. They used to go to the same school. And basically we've been friends since then. He said something, and when he said it, I thought he was being rude. I've said this before, and I'm going to repeat it. He said, David, life, it is worth knowing people who are worth knowing. When he said it, my initial instinct was that this guy is rude. But then again, when I took it on board, I started thinking about it, digesting it. He had a point. Do you think it's worth knowing everyone? No. It is worth knowing people who can add value to your life. People who have value. So in law, we call something evidence is something that can have probative value to the argument that you are trying to advance. Documents don't win cases, but documents with probative value will win you cases. And very important, getting to know right people. How do you know whether someone is right or someone is worth knowing or not? You can only get to do this by coming out of your shell and meeting people and forming friendship. If you know their friendship will not help you, then you branch. Period. That is life. That is life. Whether that is fair or not, that is the reality that we lead. And therefore, it's very, very important that you associate with people that you may not even be comfortable with. At least, when you need to ask for a favor, believe in me, one phone call, the fact that they know you and they're in a position to help you. One phone call and it moves you far. So it's very, very important that when you come to the country and you are assimilating, make sure that you don't get stuck up within your own people, within your own culture. Because some people come in, if for example, they come from Accra, they will only mingle with people from Accra. Okay, there is nothing wrong with that. But you are limiting your opportunities. Trust me. Because if you also associate with someone from maybe Uganda, you never know. Your opportunity can come out from in Uganda. The fact that you are friends, the fact that you are linked, believe me, maybe you may be the right person for that opportunity, and the person will link you up. Maybe someone from Mamprusi, you associate with the person then link you up. And through that, you broaden your horizon. And therefore, you put yourself in a better light, in a better way. You give yourself opportunities. You create your opportunities and you will get opportunities. And it will help you to succeed. So all those brothers and sisters who have joined us this week, that's all that I can say. That's the only advice that I can give you. Do the best that you can once you are in the country. I will ask that you don't only listen to maybe Ghana news. When you get a chance, go to BBC. Even if you cannot hear what they are saying, keep listening. There's something called teletext. If you press your remote control and the teletext comes up, whatever they say will also write. Because it's very, very challenging when you come to this country. The language is always difficult. Even though it's English language, but the English that we speak in Ghana, for example, you will see that it's totally different from the English that they speak here. Even though it's English, one or two you may understand, but believe in me, you're going to struggle. And I'm telling you, we all went through the same thing. And then you ask yourself that the English that we teach in Ghana, for example, what kind of English is that? You see, that is the Queen's English, because the words are pronounced. Detail, ditto. There's no silence. But you come to this country, and then you call, excuse me, and the person will say, what? And then you start thinking, oh my God, what is this person saying? But back in Africa, or in Ghana, when someone says, excuse me, and you are trying to figure out what the person is saying, you must say, what did you say? Or how can I help you? Or repeat what you said. But here, when you are talking to someone and the person does not even hear you, the person will say sorry or sorry. But Ghana too, when we say sorry, it means you are wrong. Someone has done something and you are apologizing. You see the context. So here, when you're speaking to someone or you are asking someone something, the person says sorry. The person is not apologizing. The person is asking you to repeat it. You see the concept, the circumstances, how the word sorry is being used. But in Africa, when someone says sorry, that means the person has done wrong and the person is apologizing. So the context is different. And therefore, when you come over, unfortunately, you are going to struggle a bit. But don't let that struggle put you off. Don't let that struggle put you in a box. You need to go out there and push and learn and learn. That is the only way that it can make you better. So all that I say is as follows. Those of our brothers and sisters who have joined us in this country this week, it's very, very important that you don't think that life is a race. Life is not a race. Life is about season and time. And only time will tell. All that I say to you is this. Use the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1 to 8. It says, there is time for everything. And time will tell. Life is not about a race. Do not be jealous of anyone. Everyone is running their own race. It's time and season. When your time is up, nobody can stop you. When it's not your time, keep working hard. Keep working hard. And keep working hard. Do not think that taking something that does not belong to you is okay. In this country, it's called stealing. If you go to workplaces, anything that you have not been given by the management or by the owner, do not take it home, because it can bring shame to you and the person that you have joined. I have come across cases where someone has been fired from work because of a bottle of water. The small bottle, which is about 50 pence. Why did it happen that way? The person went to work and the person was thirsty. And the person looked around, no one was watching. And 500 ml bottle of water, the person took it and drank it, not knowing that there were cameras at the warehouse watching him. So the security saw that. The security reported him to management. He was called into a meeting and he was denying of drinking any water. White people, they don't joke. The evidence was brought to this guy. Clearly, it's him. Clearly taking water. Clearly looking left and right, no one is watching, and hiding in a corner and drinking this water. Straight away, he got sacked. I've come across a case, someone working in a supermarket. They do bakery stuff. Bread, cake, and so on and so forth. He is a Ghanaian, and he took a bit of cake and ate it. They saw it. Once again, they fired him. He could not understand why they have fired him, so he came to me for help. I asked him, did you take it? He said yes. Did you eat it? He said yes. And I asked him, do you have employment contract? He said yes. Do you know the terms and conditions? He said yes. And I said, read this for me. He read it, and I said, what you did and what it says here, what do you think it means? His excuse was that it is not only me. All the others also do the same thing. The question that I asked him, those others, have they been caught? He said no. And I said, okay, if they have not been caught and the management don't have any evidence, do you think they can sack them? He said no. I said, sorry, this is not a case that I will waste my time at the employment tribunal. You don't have the case and you are fired. There's nothing that I can do. So there's been so many cases. If I have to go on and on and on and on, you'll be surprised. So brothers and sisters who have joined us, believe in me, never try this. Go to supermarket, and some people go in, and grapes, they just take it and start eating it without washing it because they think it's okay. It's not okay. It's theft. It's stealing. Don't do it. You go to workplaces, toilet tissue, face mask, and then you take it from employment place and you bring it home. It's theft. Please don't do it. Because apart from that, if you get caught, that you are going to be sacked, it also brings shame on you. Because the very people that you are moving with, when they see you with their friends, what they will say is that, oh, look at this guy. I used to work with him, you know, and he got sacked. Oh, why did he get sacked? He stole a cake. He was eating cake at the shop, and he got caught and he got fired. The person see you, he's being told that you got sacked from work because of stealing cake. That is registered in the person's mind. Everywhere that the person see you, that will be the first thing that comes to the person's mind. Oh, look at Kate. Look at Kate. Kate, he used to work with Kwame, and apparently he stole a cake. How stupid. How can you steal a cake? How much after all is a cake? And then that becomes a stigma. Not only that, when you are looking for a new job, you may need a reference. How are you going to get a reference from a place that you were working that you have been sacked for stealing, dishonesty? How much is a piece of cake? How much is a bottle of water? Do not be deceived. Do not fall into a pure sense or a false sense of security. Don't think you are safe. Nothing is watching you. We've got cameras everywhere. Don't do what you are not expected to do. because the shame that will be on you and for the rest of your life is not going to be rubbed off. Everywhere that people see you, they are always going to remind you. So be careful, do the right thing, work hard, play hard, and make your money. That's all that I can say to brothers and sisters who have joined us. There are so many people in this country who may offer you advice. I will always say this. It's better that you talk less. Because talking too much exposes your ignorance and also your weakness. And sometimes it's best that you don't talk too much. Be respectful, humble yourself, and people will show you the way. Not everyone will give you a good advice. That one is a fact. But when someone says something and it doesn't make sense and it's not going to help you, think about it. If you are in doubt, go to professionals and seek the right advice. It's very, very important. In order to be able to fit in, you also have to learn fast. And be around positive people. People who can help you up rather than people who will help you to stay down. Be ambitious. Don't limit yourself. Keep fighting. Keep praying. Let your heart be clear. Let your mind be clear. Be positive. Concentrate on the positives and forget the negatives. And you will see that God will also lift you. Like I said, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 going, time will tell, and there is time for everything. Don't rush because someone else is ahead of you in terms of what society may perceive to be life. Unfortunately, within our community, Ghana for Dibia, I will be my bobra. Unfortunately, people think it's having a house and having a car means bobra. That is what some people think. But for me, having a life, it's not about the houses that you build, about the cars that you buy, but the impact that you can leave. The positive effect that you can have on people's lives. Nelson Mandela was not the richest man on earth. Jesus Christ was a poor man, but yet his legacy and his name is still with us today. If we are say, ye ba say ye ba bejedin, name will be a say ye ba bejedin. Oba Judy ebeko, name will be jedina edahoda, and nona bruni cassim, ye becase legacy. Leave a good legacy so that your name will not easily be robbed off from the history books. And you know, in your mama journey us, Yankopon Insham no me a quiet emamo. Yankopon emo munina na de damakoma so no embremu. Adwumaden are very important. Konkonsa faton chain. Obi beka obi wasam kirewa. Eno ane se me pacho next time nkomo se nyani nye ho. Eno ano no enye didi atem. Because you have because any person will be konkonsa kirewa. Owie ya odo de so ko. Enti aya yenye careful. Do odi bi ba no, odi bi ko. Enti so bi be di konkonsa ententem na ani di mu. No a che ne se enkomo sei no, wani nhye dan ye ho. Se o meka bibi a ebe push you in life, ebe motivate you. Ese minua ba afi na waba. Wanya ba die pa adwuma kakra. Ekuma so de se bi o so ni gi school ho a. Unya ye adwuma na se uko school kakra, it can uplift you. Se oye adwuma na se oje 5 pound. Utimi ko school na wo via. Oye adwuma na the same job no, ye betwi aka ebia 12 pounds. And it is 3 years in po and spend your school now. Within 3 years, you can make the money that you may have lost. And you know, it's very, very important. As we look for people who can help us, people who can, motivate us, people who can help us to move up, rather than people who will give us information, gossips, unnecessary stuff, things that will not help us to move up. And therefore, it's very, very important. As to be status idea and tentem na no can so. say any this type of encomono many nye ho ti mesro pi ebi ayen kasa echi awakate no amafo bebre omitimi do omoyere no mba omunkunu no mba na adane ntokwa yada ko na mehu amane anajo masara ni social worker na phone calls na basa edu ebi kra na no ni ho so be yese adwuma we ade kra ni adwuma kra na efro na e ka kire na yakopon so many pa wisdom nti Emma yetimi advising for the right way. Emma almost so it me the right thing. It me sa can nipa bom. Obi wa ni fi asay yo. And just be making sure say oba be say fi. And to tell we must be very very careful. The bia make us same way. Emo ene kokko ye mfamfra. Udi kokko. Ase ene say mpo sentia moa e kan asem bi. O se unya sempa men kan kire wo yere se ye kasa asem na ye mfa ne transa wo eye mebuse unya sempa men kan kire wo yere no me de madwirim do pa kire de se je won komo aye ni ye yiri di ane ye won komo ani abusua di enti untimi mfa o yere nkomo enko ye abusua topic ana abusua topic untimi mfa nko ye o yere enkomo se wo paso ndwie e wo wawawim enu abusua ma enti no sebe se waba beka wukunu ho waba beka wojere ho a efie nkomo ene enkomo a wonu abusuafo di ni ofie sebe ya mpa ehu hia pa ebia eni se oni wukunu edi ho san nkomo no because e dey sensem labor because if we are saying that because everyone is selfish, self-preservation must always come first, and personally I see nothing wrong with that, being selfish, because it's part of our nature. The person is living in self-denial. Believe in me. Because historians will tell you, psychologists will tell you, even the Bible itself says so. I say, love yourself as you love your neighbor. I say, love your neighbor as you love yourself. There is a recognition that you have to love yourself first before you can love your neighbor. So that is the reason why the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So there is a recognition that you love yourself. So the Bible says that love your neighbor the same way that you will love yourself. And therefore, for that reason, I say, there are certain because, for example, say if you are doing now, me fro papa frewa. Uvi say pressure no dey bro. Bro pressure. I say yai, ukodru or hiri kro mu no. Say de yehunu so. Say menye ska ntwa nkra school fees. Ani mesrew, wo ya adwuma, first ka bra na memfa mo unuanom ketwa. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Papa no ehwe ni interest. Fair enough. Waba betu kuru a otua rent. Sebe okofa wabakra no bobusia akoji loan or bank to pay the home office fees and to pay the immigration health surcharge fees and to pay the lawyers fees. Says Okabuma is about £5,000 plus tuberculosis abe plus English test. Se ufri kontomre all the way to Accra. Ana obabe said you tuberculosis ana baby present here. Ufri kontom reba na so beda Accra hotel abeda e ka wabo obewie no nam 7,000 to 8,000 pounds. Waba akwasi miracle apa adwuma ama o pa adwuma ama wa efie so ma pressure. O ma me no papa ma pressure. Ese first ka na mfa nkotua ni anu nketewa fi. Akwasi miracle fi se so waba wa pa adwuma ama at least oso ye adwuma ska na wanya no. Ube contribute to kakra a yede betua rent yede be no aduane ene ka okobo ye ne kakra odi betua. Okay, now you have umame etwon am no wapa etwon akwasi bloku so pressure wo ono so there's expectation ebia wo ye adwuma waji ebia be £400 your first wages akwasi etwon umame no wapa etwon this say there na be. And you know, for me in this instance a better wrong say who oba na say be man obefa funa catch ma me say ebia mame me kurukra de me baaye no obobosia anu de me baaye sisi amenya adwuma yi ese me boane ni etua ka no otigana adwuma begine say na ukurukra de baaye o samu etua ka ene se wa charge no so de adane timuka ne hye ni tirim on tiasie da ese oba be fa wo yere no obo bosia na so mmoa na muntua. The mindset is different. And therefore no, there's a problem there. And oba no so and you so wisdom when you so nyansa. Ah yensia ni school yibio. We fe ni fie nyansa. When you so wisdom. Na also ko kan kecheni kru ne say me ma me etwe me o se first camera ni enkotua de ben na be ma no so de bufu aba abufu aba shela dwiri me say eh na ka be di nyina no do nwene me ho oba ye obusuafo na wodwene wo na afi conflict afi ubehu se be ma no ne o ma me no papa gapa ba be do montem na afi otan bi e ba be da o montem enuntina empanimfo mposenti amoa oso nya sampa men kan kire wo jire eso use wisdom na the balances ani ma me anyway oba me na afro no ba be dan ka mami afi ne ma ba be duru enti mpa cho wo de mumya mani na mo mpekwa be so ntua nyame ye madoma mebu afi. That's it. Na afi papa no de gemu ana ne de te ho no wotinya boa no na wa ye de wa clear sa date na fi ho no e pa na e dia sundue ba. But unfortunately, obi owa okotina warema ni fie nsem nyinara na oka kire ne gire. Ni fie nsem nyinara na oka kire ni kunu. Etupo se ni kunu anasa ne gire ne tewa de wom ani de enim na waka. Enti sabio obani mpa na se be ma ko no nya obi a no. Ono te ho no ma onfa buo e ma be ma no anasa oba na busuafo because of na no a odi kasa bebrebe enti. Na akobi kana sem o se fe no obubu labu o so obu na ano ndi obu because if we are saying no fa bu am obi a antwa no so fa bu ankoma na afi no akoye de e wo ho no enti mesra mu ye nuanu amaba ye ba mo akwaba na wisdom ye bunya kopon paye ese omamu nyansa where there are conflict any challenging and competing interest no omama hodi ni nyansa na muntimi fam balance sa de wi because say enye nsem nyina na kachire ekru enye nsem nyina na kachire yeyere because so ma mitifi no ma pressure no odwene ne ho de obedi ewu no odwene ho enye okru hu no odwene ana okru se ja wodem obese jani dum nti no ana so be ye de ono so e ma sa pressure ne se je adwuma ne enye ska ne mfantwa ye kana emfiri wo no but se wo hemfimfi a ana so apply wisdom no enye nsem nyina ana kachire yekru ana enye nsem nyina ana ese kachire yeyere in the sense say asem uko kachire we na ka we di chire we ya e de otan ene e how na ever. This is where we need to apply wisdom. Na Yakopon wisdom so say de Yakopon na edema. Knowledge de uko school you can learn the knowledge, but wisdom. Solomon Yakopon say Solomon de na ope also ope de also ope wisdom. Because unya wisdom a bibia ni wa untimi fa wisdom ma enye de enya. Enti adwene kese an ye dit na wiase. Enti very very important. I say I've gone on a bit about this because is all around this area. Problems are for enya because culturally, you know, is different. A chroma oba pressure why is different from pressure if we Ghana ever. Tiebesremo, mobay, when you kunu, when you yere, Sento Campo Bamuntema, a beya, Muamun solve mo problem. Men found a chromo be any problem. Obia so yeshio, me to overcome problem, she may hold down when you are a year free man to cry. Uni me how many more. You don't know. Obia when they have. Into your best room. Where there is a problem, mon transit. Now mon kasa communication is the key. Because me catch me said you be majumenti min penny pemuko. Because one she no kasa na a bia do becano and no be case a say na afino ye accuse you say o de phone 7 now. It is a whom minipam be brave. It is a deliberate act. I try to keep myself to myself. And I try to keep myself private. I'm always a private person. So I can be juba and can Facebook and can media crack me. But majumenti and I have to come out every week and talk and sell myself and sell my product. And to the meeting I can say a beya all the time. If there's a problem, won't try not won't resolve no problem. Because if we are saying obi no bit solve no problem but just say we betimi aboa amo solve problem but nipa need to solve problem emma enti the mesre mo pi ye nua mama ba be kai ho e be ya bibia no kru ntrase e no yere ntrase muni nkomo bibi na e kire wadwena busa bibi so wani nyi ho a feel free and tell the person say you are not happy with this because emre pi no enipa ne nyi ho kra na waka na no watum ana so bi so ka asem na se enya wo de sebe ono akofo obi aba sebio enipa no onye slave ana waka se da no wada sorry no sorry na u control enipa ne se remote control masa sa adwene bi hwe otrima oso yifi otrim treat enipa ne se wo enipa ne fa buoma no because udi buoma obi a ono so di buoma de bia nkofo ko ware nkofo ba 6 months kra ma me aba bi hu lo ya da ko the same say divorce and you ask yourself what is going on. It's a nightmare, you know. And you know, if you look at divorce rate, it's going up and up and up because sometimes people may have their own agenda of, you know, loving someone. It's not because they love the person, but because they have an alternative, you know, agenda. Intimacy, so I become one. Bro, once we bema so na sorry obaso no bia beto asoso a also bro ho ase nefa buoma no enye se bia na wotiatia no enipem na oya big shot na kofa me yeraba na kofa mi kron ba na de kasa basa sa enye fe enipa no kotini ba bia enye ne de sebio akofa na ba obi ansoma se kofa ne bra uji wiyam na kofa ne bae wona wonim de ntia kofa ne bae se papa na wode aye nipa na manipa na nkasa enyi waye memfa nkogina ba bi enyi uku aye because sedium penifo sika aye no se wa kogina bedwam na se bio ojo ho akesesem na se wa nkasa wo bo abaso a ene na nipa na aye ne papa no ehun hia so be bo abaso because wa nkasa no wo ye de wo bo abaso na ewiase na sa na sometimes etie ma wa nkasa, you know, humble yourself for people to praise you eba ne sa na efe se wa nkasa be ma ho so na wa ye didi e de ama wo ho enti yenu an mama ba ye mamo akwaba mo problem bi asoso ana say bibi na esa wo ye na onye sure we dey get in touch with justice and law solicitors na ya da kon say adwuma mpo na de wo pair it doesn't kill we dey pick up the phone oh lawyer person yes say adwuma we bi unim obi a obetinya po ame nyankopon adam from nyankopon adom madwuma me yenti enkofo de nema bibribe jija me all the time bia ofre mpo na abusame a bia betimi enya obi a ono so be de ebi obetimi aboa. I remember say papa bi frame me office say Ghana he's having a bit of a problem now ofre me no na obetimi anim na o say emergency into the phone e brain excuse ni po tim anim no na me di nkomo na che say problem no wo me ntimi mo ano. However, client or T office, I send Kobon Kakrafa and assume, and I say, why baby? Because of Wunti and Mboa or the Boagana for. Miami, a lawyer, this is the area of specializing. And you know, so client in a pedia made the number bema. Made the number name man, one phone call, Obian the blood pressure cost of half an hour calm down, or say, lawyer made that was it. And Tisana area sena SC Okwa na do jijija, you never know. Ewiase sebe uye Bill Gates kra na farmer anana ese udua eniema emani fufu emani nyini emani twa na Bill Gates yeso wuska kra no so enye biedi bezo ono so enye biedi enti no aboa bia I said de anoma bia ni wa owu a me ntakra enye de emma form na obi kan se bi kire me this week o say lawyer for adwuma I say KGT abeti se wani huni ne na se wanto andi a ukọ na se oba akina abeti na wanto ne enre ni no eno ade be kan hye amosa bedi ne ne enti uma no ye bi adwuma ma wa make sure say you keep the relationship going because you never know when you will need him again. It's very, very important. Enti de am kasa say we say enipa de Udo bimpo entemo etitia, make sure say you live in the nicest possible way. Because who knows tomorrow? Why any echina will be any echina sem. Mpenimfo say ye pa ye hunti ana ye chichireboa. No humani so mami. Entina atwe ye ni so enam. Na say obi nima obi so ede echire. Enti enuanom akwaba the bompa say akwantu a small baby kan ye hui yakopon na bibie kwan amamo na most of the same way so monsa idea aka. Now let's go to the do's and don'ts in writing supporting letters. Emre Pino among for bisa say supporting letter mention is saying the bia for edi disturb yin. Enti ene na me fi say ehun be hia ese ye be ye die ye beka ehun asem ewo afidi eso ha. Supporting letter especially for immigration cases ayana home office for objective evidence and I say objective letters from a third party, unbiased letters to support an application. And untino say any panel if the person is not a family member and the person is not your lawyer, ayana ebwa. And the very possible so any panel anka on supporting letter no on their letterhead. Na afi no supporting letter no so no so letterhead is what and ultra supporting letter so of course you need to address it to the home office. I am sometimes encourage to whom it may concern. Whom it may concern is too general. Sometimes if you are able to to make it specific and you say to the home office, that's what your home office address na aya eboa. And now make sure say the letter is addressed to the home office. And also in the content of the letter, now the first paragraph, I think say you need to say who you are, your relationship with the person that you are writing the letter for. So for example, Semina Metro supporting letter, ama your friend is saying Mr. Benjamin Opoku as an example. Ebia Mr. Benjamin Opoku awoba me bani British opeso ujina ne bani so erige enkrata ewukurumwa. Enti me trust her letter where if possible can be better me letter head so. And nunti na make asam ka say ehun be hia say waba no fa ho join the kuo fa sorry bi ne ko and as a mosque bi because ebedru baby no so be hia omomo a enti yemfa ne say lawyer dakon Matthias sorry ma sorry needing the Holy Ghost fire 50 Holy Ghost fire 50 Anna Benjamin Opoku eba ma sorry bi oba ma sorry be 1 year ni oba kromu awawo ne ba ye British opese ujina ne ba so DJ visa enti se me cho supporting letter me make sure say ebeko Holy Ghost fire letter head so it brings credibility to what we are doing. So therefore then the letter will also be addressed to the home office. It does not matter which address that you choose as long as the home office is good. And the main address either Croydon or Sheffield, which is UKVI PO Box 3468 Sheffield S38WA. Then what trashes DSS DM Madam reference Benjamin Opoku application for leave to remain on the basis of his family life as a heading. Then I go to the body of the letter. I need to explain who I am. So for example, my name is David my name is Reverend Dr. David Darkham of 50 or Holy Ghost Fire 50 church at such and such and such and such and such an address, and I will then say how I know this person. Then I'll go to to the paragraphs, why I'm writing this letter. I'm writing this letter because he's a member of my church, blah 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 blah, how long he's been at the church and the contribution that he's been making to the church. The fact that he has come to the church with his son or daughter and that they are part of the church community, all the positive stuff that they do to the church, they do for the church. I will set all this out and then I will then conclude that based on his private life and family life and the fact that he has established, ties and connections to the UK and especially through the church, then of course we support his application for further leave to remain, as we believe that he is a positive role model to the members of the church and the members of the community, and therefore he will be a good addition to the UK population. Once you do that and you sign it, it's fantastic. They look at that and they say, yeah, you are brilliant, so it helps. Also, when you are writing such a letters, you don't have to write like an expert. Don't be biased, it's very, very important. Just go straight to the point, and also you don't have to be thinking about boundaries, about this or that. You have to be direct. If the person is a good man, for example, Mr. Benjamin Opoku is a good man. He's been with the church for the past 5 years. He comes to church every Sunday, almost every Sunday. And when he comes to church, he makes sure that the church is clean, and also in the Sunday school, he teaches the children about the ways of Christ, Christ, and blah, 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 all the stuff, you put all that in. And also, if he is part of the group that goes out to the community and do some community work and project, when it comes to excursions, some churches every summer they will go to Brighton, they will go to the beach side and so on and so forth. Then, the role that he plays, then you say all this. And, if he pay is tight on time, you can put all that in to show that he is someone who does not joke about his tithes. So it's very, very important that when we are writing supporting letters, we put all this in. Now, let's take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we will do British citizenship for children born abroad. And then we will then activate the telephone lines and take some phone calls and bring the program to an end. Don't touch the dial, don't go anywhere. Share the program for us as soon as you join us. This is Justice and Law Solicitors, Unit 35B 49 FR Road, Brixton, London, SW2 1BZ. Anyway, share the program for us as soon as you join us. This is Justice and Law Solicitors.
Wow, Papa be our Ghana, and so a num no cry asante. Senya wo be mani sika say yesi wachi ma enti na ye ne Paradise City ye did this beautiful ultramodern city Abatema community 25 who standard executive semi-executive quality buildings ye ne Paradise City ye wo homa e say ye di abrochre abagana ntino ye payment terms no so ada phone book who penny self finance and as a mortgage for Paradise City and we telephone numbers ye so UK +447 908-475-802. Paradise City. Ye juma pa amagana yefe ankasa. Medafo, uyamanka wawo dan papa bi ewo Ghana na. Enso enam no kra asante no. Who senya wo be mani sika say yesi wachi ma. Enti na ye ne Paradise City. Ye did this beautiful ultramodern city Abatema community 25 who standard executive semi-executive quality buildings ye ne Paradise City ye wo homa e say ye di abrochre abagana ntino ye payment terms no so ada phone book who penny self finance and as a mortgage for Paradise City and we telephone numbers ye so UK +447 908-475-802. Paradise City ye juma pa amagana yefe ankasa.
Anyama domboko anyama kwase anyama de so onim party na la so ba fa me ko e abaya be ko hia nza ba nse nya nkrata ma no and again inti yo na wisha be ma party asi ya so nya nkrata ma I'm so deep open me de me ya we din wasa bom bi mo e be fi kese fu kote to ko nyu eja wo ko unye ya unye na ebo fu ya ko ma tu
na dan majira pressure bom da na mpezum bebi
what you akuma ni su nyina ya fi ho because if kese mfo
na ada moti ha mo ntwa na moda so tefi ha
na o me me kan chiro e na unye so ko yen gata mo bi o mi de so oyo okay kura
yo mesre mo pi ewi ase de obi ene ho chi for asempa kodo enemre mu so de obi ene ho betena ho amma ta bada ho so owon kame enu nti mesre wo se banka ta asem ko ande a na se wuni krata wo krom ha na wunya nkrata mesre wo adwuma ba ko pe e na me kan for amao enu ane Justice and Law Solicitors lawyer ye fe no openta ku David ho e na owo ne ba immigration sem landlords and tenants family legal documents civil litigation, wills, and employment issues. Nina, papa, Odu Juma, or na Mr. Mababa to Mune, American Sabu, Monfa Mama Somo, Tom.
Nana, okay, a papa, to me, I couldn't call you now, my said, you'll be a Jew, see, can't remember so much. I'm sure it's me.
Nina, lawyer Benda, could Nina, Hujuma, Nania, and Nika, I want to say, why you talk of Chinese about Maramudia. So I just want to say, oh, New Year, papa, only in Fafia. But you have an answer, yo, me pacho, Obemu, Justice and Law for a war. Unit 35, Eurolink Business Center, 49 FR Road, Brixton, SW2 1BZ. Now the telephone number any 020-7738-5841. And I say the mobile number 075-3896-9589. Miss Snow, and then they said the migration for senior Brew Klumhano. Share and one traho armor and for now quiet. It's the free no crudie. Found cat as Equidine Justice and Law Solicitors.
Hey, Ojam, also switch you on the way now on idea see a film idea down for Baku Coffee.
And your shame, Penisi, who if not of about Yinchi. And I'm saying, lawyer Benda, a pattern wants to say, but what young Ghana 43 Winti. Maybe there be a free and a pedubako, Equabo, a Riadonko, lawyer Etna, a Fidia, a Fire Life Radio, so etc. Membrem Ewo, into a free memory that a Benjamin Dakabian for Fidia Fire Life Radio, not see a lawyer and a Emremun Sem Ewo. Tifina Radio, Justice and Law Solicitors.
Any mammy do feel, yet more to see, and no baby, sorry, I'm what dim no code on complaining that who were to know. Samson, Mebra, with fit any or 20, no paganting, the card must say, that be Bierano, what in den day, Miamere, or storm, where did you get? May you answer on a pa and castle and near her, and I said, no, we are murder. Son and papa, Nifia contain, on also complaining that who were be any yak, or sorry, and a pana, no fancy kind of conif, me, a promoter. Maduma may, me can use Name, active, Name, come back, Bierano, a bram de Bedampuna. Nanso men sorry that no cranka say who be be me ni nyina say your secret awintasem e yadura e de boy ho ba ni nyina ni kowa meshakuani e yadura onomu a ebo ni padua no e ma osi pi usita me kanfo ama o say wonso no no kowa mesani bi na babua na abaw ni obusua na yareda ho e ya nunum bi na obedia danse
wa UK obenya kwa mixture e wo Ghana Market, the Heart of Africa, ground floor, shop number 138 Church Road, Nisden, London. Obetumi afre 07514-433-148 and answer 07464-636-604.
Kowa mesha abusua amintase binia
Amway a company kesiye a omode niyama pa abedwa so omoniema ni be a health products, beauty products and a home care product. Omo health products ni be a vitamins and as a food supplement. Beauty products ni bi enso omo wo enku ana semna ebema wo honam atoso already atoso sen no omo home care products ni bi samna edi huhuru nkukuo mu ni ayedi twetwe adwaye en emu de hede wo pe bia no ubetimi enya bi ewo Amway se upe emu nsamatie ana se upe bia to a yesrese fre owura Emmanuel Eshon ewo 075 076 30487 075 076 30487 and also say abefo amansanten tan kese no so ubehunu o machira kwan ewo www.amway.co.uk/user/ms na ofre ora Emmanuel Eshon and also say wotons ansa ekọ amansanten tan kese no so wo website no so a omoni ubedi nkita ho fefefe enu na owura Emmanuel Eshon beka cho say and they na onanyen.
Onanyan indeed. Yes, Afiyanko any topic in this one of the main topics of today is children born outside the United Kingdom to British parents or to British mother or British father. You say what do you call it? And maybe anywhere who in Takram or form. Na so search your dentist on saying. Babylon system is dread, and when we say Babylon, people who understand will understand. Babylon system is dread, and it's full of concrete jungle. Some people travel to United Kingdom, and they may decide one way or the other to have children outside the United Kingdom. Sometimes it's not, maybe sometimes it's by accident. Accidents do happen. Some may disagree that it's accident, but maybe it's not the right terminology. But I hope you know what I mean. For example, some people may go on holidays, and whilst they are on holidays, maybe they will have a fling or they will have sexual relationship with someone, and before the person knows, a child is born, and he is the father or maybe the mother in some cases. And as a result, if you are a holder of a British passport, then what will be the consequences, or what will be the effect? What can you do for this child? If you want to bring the child to the UK, can you apply for the child to come to the UK as a British citizen? A lot of people have contacted me, and in fact we've done a lot of applications for a lot of people, and in fact I cannot remember application that has not been successful. Every application that we have done has been successful, where someone has had a child outside the United Kingdom, and we have obtained British passport for the child to come to the UK as a British citizen, rather than applying for indefinite leave to enter, which is more expensive and more tedious. So the general rule is this: if you are British, it's very, very important that we understand this distinction. If you are British by naturalization and you have a child outside of the United Kingdom, under British Nationality Act of 1981 as amended, the child potentially could be a British citizen, and every British citizen is entitled, is eligible for British passport. We need to understand this principle. Say I'm British and I did obtain my British citizenship by naturalization, and I traveled to, say, Ghana, and I ended up having a child in Ghana. By operation of the law, that child is British. I can apply for British passport for that child to join me in the United Kingdom, notwithstanding the fact that the child may also have a Ghanaian passport through the mother, as an example. What if I have indefinite leave? Indefinite leave is different from having a British citizenship. If I have indefinite leave and I have a child in Ghana, for example, the child is not British. Contrast that with someone who has got indefinite leave, living in the UK and having a child in the UK. If I have indefinite leave and I have a child in the UK, the child is automatic British. But contrastly, if you contrast that to a child that I will born outside the UK, that child is not British. That is the law. And there's nothing that you can do about that. It's like a rule. A rule is a rule. There's nothing that you can do about that. So we need to bear this in mind. So say I have a child in Ghana. I'm a British passport holder. And I want the child to come to the UK and join me. Or perhaps I want to apply for British passport for the child. Because don't wait until it is too late. Even whilst the child is in Ghana, you don't have any intention for the child to join you in the UK. You can still apply for a British passport for the child. And I think it makes sense to apply because the laws can change at any time. And you never know when perhaps you may feel that the child should come and join you. So the sooner you do it, the sooner the better, because who knows tomorrow? Nobody knows tomorrow. So for me, if the child qualifies, take the right steps, get in touch with Justice and Law Solicitors, and let's obtain the child's British passport from childhood. If the child grows up, say 18 years, and the passport has even expired, it's easy to renew than applying it for the first time. So don't wait, don't leave it too late. If not, you have more problems in the future when you are applying. So what I will say is this. Apply for the British passport for the child, and the child can come in anytime that the child wants. How do you do this? We call something overseas British passport, because the child is at overseas. And therefore, an application will have to be made and submitted to the overseas passport office. The visa application is made on a form called OVS. Oh, sorry, it's called OS, Overseas British Passport. So you do the application and then you add all the supporting documents. This is the interesting bit. If you look at the guideline notes, the supporting documents is not exhaustive. The officer can come at any point and ask for further evidence and more information. But the most important documents are as follows. You, the father, all your passports, including foreign passports, at the conception of the child, to show that you were British when the child was born. Your naturalization certificate to show that you obtained your citizenship otherwise by descent, and you need to have that. And also all evidence to show that you've been traveling and basically you've been supporting the child as your child historically. And the child's too, the child's passport, the child's mother's passport, the child's mother's ID card, and so on and so forth, and evidence of address, school letters, GP letters, you name it. Any evidence that is linked the three of you together to show that you have one common interest, which is the child, then of course that can then be done. Now we have a situation where Ghana birth certificates, the credibility of it is at stake. And therefore, regardless, they will still ask you to go and do passport DNA. You can do DNA, or you can wait until they ask you to do DNA and you do it, and basically you attach it to there. After all that, they will also ask for an interview. This is the key. Monday, I have one interview coming up, similarly about things like this, where someone is going to be interviewed because we done a passport application. I believe that the person will be fine, no doubt in my mind. However, it's important that a person is also prepared for the interview. If not, it can all go wrong for the person. That is the reason why when you're doing such application, you need experienced hand like Justice and Law Solicitors, Lawyer Darkon, Lawyer One, to guide you through the process. So we thank you today for listening. And if you have a child outside the UK and you want to bring the child, you want to apply for British passport, then by all means get in touch with Justice and Law Solicitors. DJ A, we wish you a speedy recovery. Mary Love, also we wish you a speedy recovery. We pray that God Almighty God put his hands on you and heal you all. Obi biara or any medical challenges biaso so yedi nyankopon empire bo esane yare ewo Yesu Kristo nidim. Na abrochire eyi ekura yempe pressure. Mema obi abema pressure. Mema menye wadwene se obi asidan tie se wusidan obi atoka ntie se wotoka debi. Eye time and season. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. Eye entoboase enyem riketu. Memo be ama pressure wati. Memo be ama pressure enye ade. Pressure. Now I don't tire. Pressure. Catch it. Someone pressure. Watching the same. Pressure.
Baby, started give me pressure. Myself I did wonder. Now I don't tire. Now it's time wahala. With this song, she dey give me pressure. Myself I did wonder. Now I don't tire. Now it's time wahala. With this song. Listen with your power. Them turn on me, yeah. Where your fuck groove? Where your dancing shoes? Baby, they give me pressure. Baby, they give me pressure. She dey call me on my telephone. They ask me why I don't go. Baby, why you do me so? Don't say I'm full. Maybe they give me break, 'cause I don't mistake. Catch in the place, we go make it hit. Way back when I started talking, you sure say you never go worry. Hey, when you tell me stay, baby, I know that I go. Now you they give me precious. Now you they give me precious.
Yes, this is Justice and Law Solicitors.
Now you they give me pressure.
35B 49 Efra Road, Richmond, London, SWT, 1BZ, no pressure.
Yeah. All the girls won't see me. All the girls won't feel me.
Yes, you can call us on 07538 969 if you have any question about today's topic, or you have any question about immigration and nationality, family law, child contact arrangements, custody order, you name it, get in touch. If you want to apply for Ghana passport, Ghana visa, get in touch, book appointment and come and see us, and we will do you justice. Sesi aso question you so so busa ubetini afre number didi jumano eye 07538 969 589. Yes, remember be under pressure. Remember be under pressure, ma. Yes, stop wondering. Don't be tired. Yes. About for baby super intimate mu peace and friend as intimi fa ya nyanto bo ase ma ye ye board number na was why dey na wakasa na chese a drew time no no why enti onya ko gina so no pa cho we di se na kase free. Yes, me a one.
Hey, Jesus Christ, British accent. And then we both say mama, and then we both say mama, papa.
But we say mama na me timu nya me de.
Jesus Christ, and then we message is so powerful.
That's right.
Oh my God. Ah, Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Me boa paso, lawyer. Me boa paso. Excellent job. Excellent job. Ah. And that they win family there. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy and I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will call you today. Now I sort her out. Why?
All right. Thank you. So why would you name my name?
Before so record, my make us say Ghana for yes remo. Mo kita 5 years no. E kwani ma yeto. This week masumu nyomi. Enkrofo ayachi wo mu ne pressure pa ye dia mame no. Enye easy. Ti na wo frame ya wunyame no. Eje gumi chema nkasa. Na wo ka ye nuanom ye ntie. To the point to say case ni bi ba me say baby mintimi nye mo fanko baby foforo.
Okay.
Sha ye chi nkrofo no ano odin. Enti this week pa no se nipa nya me client me say baby. Because ye nya chi obi sa na. He na busuafo ofrew. na oyere frɛ na we frɛ na we frɛ nti case ba ko no ni pa 10 na yetete o enti taman be adwuma no ma wonye na obi efro ana akosi sɛn na airport wo frɛ immigration na yeto fa ha na yesen yesetro yi kyese ahotopa this week me nya bi ti mesre mo
bia wutufo say ye do 5 years no mawa
tina ba bi dwene wo ho tina ba bi dwene wo ho enso ye nuanom ayesem kakro ba ko ye enis ebi mo dross kakro ba ko ro nti onti jai tintra me ko Ghana obeso chese bogaba oba ko ji wani o donu be du sika no ye so muni ade okwa a onu ne be sa asere
exactly
enti yenye very careful because ekwan so de meka maka mesa ka bi de mi hu na every day no anodin pa because omusa so ma chese kom do be fa so omenu adwini because case is a damn bebrebe o ne bu amitimi hwesa me say omo so kan say e ya mpa so kan say na o se da bi adam so ye sure entebi wa obakoji audio na boati no na ya mpa so kan because of the pressure ni to so a wo ye hwan wo badwo so enti na be sleepy say enye important pa minu atu hufo because right now no ekwani mu ayetoro eho otoro dodo media wo kwana se so ma media fe na madwuma abo wo frɛ me you are paying thousands of pounds for me to do something for you make us all ya ni peska I know dia brebra man ka mane ama yetufu na se wa ntia wo beji wani so I don't understand.
Oh my goodness.
There be a way we can avoid problem where we can avoid. Because our pressure never miss me impo. Because pressure never sana. Now we trim in show. Way from. So me can work with Ghana could we see come and answer. Nasala da ko kase face cabra na atwe na se ma. So also ntimi nya adwuma ne sa o. Sebio. Sala da ko se kase me yemo ya na je se be family yere there's a limit.
Because the catcher could just say, lawyer Pala, must send me email 4 days. Abaminia replied, no, it is impossible.
Yes, assume Paminia this week. No, papa, no. So, easy. But Yanyodom, you go so fight it. So, if you can be avoided, on Kofa framing, they want me to do their cases. Omunya me client. And as I do, I say, pressure, no, I'm nodding. And I'm in the case. Now, after minya time on yet, now after deep and coffee, Debbie, I will not do that.
Lawyer, my man can't send back with you. Maybe a watching in your mamma, Mary, you should think that she will never. Meaning, maybe they are local, apart from whom you will be out.
Sanity
watching in your mamma, Mary. Still, no lawyer for woman could be a mean, I will channel the man to pray. Watching in your mamma, Mary, tell one, Debbie, you're still delay me. Minimum be account to me there. Me friend for me say come for dey bia me friend me say I continue to call.
British accent no.
I'm telling you, because the baby are making say and they are picture they are not to a TV show na yet and they put him here on phone so they show life
and color.
Life and color. Woman you want to 2012. We want to na ko bi when we cry man cry we say why busy. I should me brother me say I will not stop calling. I will continue to call and call. After that we say call. Anyway, mami ja nyame
ya Rebecca Sawai ewie be dasi fi. Hello. Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, the lawyer, we have a call there.
Nyankopon adom ne mo mpaebo ye gina so say fence zungu abeti no na mpa cha wudi de say na ka say free
We were friends from London.
Efia London na efia de na so so
Patrol we dey na me busa we dey have me kuno on the yaba me be first application and patrol be ya never been san obenya.
Enti oba be extension na safi no be application e kra.
The first application.
The first application number 1 is sika ubehia sika. Number 2 ese oye passport so ni bia on passport eso ye bi. Number 3, Obano British passport, any birth certificate, a neighbor. Now, can say British. And I will, mammy, no. Say, over support application, also passport, any biometric card, any supporting letter, any proof of your address. Papa no, as you prove send a man or show, and I send a man or shinibi. Tell you being your GP letter, school letter, any church letter to show. I feel a mobile work around. Okay, it's this year. When you macrano, no, mutual pictures, actually say, when you macrana papa no, or honomo, he care for the child. You won't so what you work around so Omra Hospital, Ghana for me, I know den, or bear 1 year Ghana. And so Omra Hospital, no trade pictures, and I could register no GP, as would dear chili baby na, Nidincha record so, or one cranny pania, I was said, we get involved. Now we introducing your whole Emma GP for no moon. Said the time, Miss no letter, or more hesitating. I saw so quite pure tight, nature correction or collection. Said they are, and also so open letter or so for the union of the actual amount. Because soon you are tight, also won't your collection. Now so cast a open letter. So letter and say the paper no. So some paper need this can you, and quancha the affair, ye disicane. Until you are sitting, you sit to a board do good soon any. Dacha won sabeka, but my bar for was so be a sick as should be bottom. And to baby as was spending no, now was spending. Sana etienne a coyanim. And as opera so dear any lawyer 1, justice and law solicitors. Now we are. Aha. Son will be a.
Okay. To the same, on Nitibama, oh, yeah, proof of address.
Bemano, baby, or tea, a baby depend, so no one at here, fine, say what you before for so fine. And in the home office for their pet evidence, a Chelsea baby was also a tino or one pa. And for example, say, or to be in China, or your chrono and a renty place in a, or your the tenancy agreement. Now, what your letter, not the copy of your passport and I send driver's license, I can't say. If you could you free fan, etimiho, could you free fan a year, madame for, many could you free fan, I'll go for over 20 years. Say no wawu ame bade kwabere free fa na ne ba no so no be ya we se ohwe ni bi na otimi nchen me supporting application mama ne room a otimi o mi fie on rent on tua bills on tua hwe enti me dey a copy of my tenancy agreement any proof of my identity attach it to this letter to support his application for leave to remain. That's it.
Okay, no ne na so e
no ba no so na no. And your banning in a tenancy agreement because Kwabna Wusu Yamedofo, Menina, Meninete, Untia rent, Untia bills because of the circumstances. Now, the same Menina, we, some man in Kratamana, Yejuman, Tenekrum, Mientia, and Share Madia, made me Sabi Gumiti, a basic kind of Mediadi. And December say, we am to be shown about Menkoja basic idea, any Nukuno, Moman and Kratan of Fantina Hanum. And the other, a drew another Hulayawana. And no dear drafting skills dear Yankopon dear chair ye enkrata mu king kong obi antimi ye tua na obi aye de obi atiem sana etie we are the leaders sana etie and then he said yeah
one more thing this is like a try end of way you na the doctor no there what's not hatch for na be 10 years sana on any share almost like na me find out say the doctor no ye uni no betimi akofa the year nke to anu afri Ghana ba na
o ka say the year nke to anu ma na ka say the year ni nuanu ma na
me pa try
say ye free yi uni mu enti no eye no senaka tama ye yi uni mu no ye adenkra mitimi kan ye wo yi uni mu no na anka they will be deemed to be extended family members enti sampotimi prove say they are dependent on him and Canadian the EU law no kinesi na kwa akofa na but ye koto abase EU ni empay free mu until this is some of the consequences we have to deal with.
Okay. And I'm yana ka kret wo mu ni pa no
mahu pa na mashada yes obi a yenim no ye nso kan ya hwe ni ma najo why
okay but I'm not so to find a mister
ASAMOAH into Basa. Why? Was it when you na miss my check? Why, fear? Okay. Mwana mo fra yenti am franya na so musu betimi afre still be da sigina so yen hwesi betimi afre ni akra na memena gina so ache ye erade amanfo abeguso amade ne kra jam Timesre umbetimi afre so pese wo so fra aha sane ye no DJ A ye chiacha baby a wo bia na no pay. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, lawyer.
Hello, good afternoon to you. Nampacho dini sana kase free.
Macho mami me go to me kase free doctor.
Positive mami bako pe kasane enko.
No time.
That's right.
I'm lawyer. And now this year with the brain. They to challenge your radio so. Oh, Pia Ubekasa lawyer. A chair lawyer be will come as lawyer that way number 1. Now Pia Ubekasa lawyer be chair lawyer come and prove it. Match £200.
Hallelujah.
£200 made the child suffer. Now lawyer, watch around the pa memma. Kana one of the women so aquaba pa. Now lawyer, my father was say. Ababa one so about home. Now what one man I come at Tony just say, Bibia when you Kuran, what me a contact Ghana, I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
And the matter was a pa. But lawyer, this year with your brain, Carol, so I am dear. So when you're 15 years of age, will be better as a lawyer. After all, they buy a lawyer no for years, and lawyer present a banning experience.
That's right.
I will be no your board. Now contact you have any communication, you have a lawyer, and it's very, very important.
Yes.
What you are saying, that's what you want for one is that. And then lawyer in Chicago, if you should have no land in Haba. Yet, Chama, dear, I'm way not it, but I'm a kind of go for the money. No, but communication is very, very important.
Yeah.
And the Apako Yajuma. Oh, Papa Yenchi. And now my colleague, now my car story be actual. May back Pagime. Or university, no. They be a never buy a Juma, or she am my dear, or say, may back uni, may back uni. Or she engineer. My name say, oh, anyway, we are. Sanabla. It took you there for 3 years. One day, never pay you should not be able to. No, Sanko Shia Papa or Liverpool Street. Or Shia Papa now. I know it's a Canabra. Canabra, Manamra. I know it's a no, yes, Manamra. But we are about the Kiafana Juma. And then the bench in a fear, dear dance, yes, and go for no movie union. When you're
Yes.
Now, and you have one in the public communicate. Make the bath in my district. Then you want to be a dinner lawyer. What you bath more a sour telephone. I prefer any papa. I prefer any papa. And I'm saying, do my phone. Yeah, you man, I am. Who said you are? Don't talk like that. You won't punish you with the I prefer any papa. Bruni, necklace, you man, or what you man with Tibatin. And I'll pass out telephone. So, yes. What's the man? I'm saying, yes. I think I will cry. You're very careful.
That's right.
Why should you, bro? I prefer to be cheap. Then I'm patrolling. Why should you? No more to fast and you're not sure to what you'll get by next week. And to look at Saturday. Hey, mammy, now let me see you careful. And cut our way the next one. No woman, creating no man, but they may respect to warm. Or you're in the new salary or kind, your new woman communicate. Now, wouldn't you go for communicate here? And Maunia, the peace every no must be. And you know, I meant the what to tea you. May see me go challenge. Or be a cousin lawyer, be chain lawyer, you broke my child or your back. But I'm man and what my £200.
That's right.
You know, I've been your job, the chairman, I can come away.
Omina so ati almost so echia yeda wasipi nada kolaba yemfana. Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Good afternoon to you. Nampacho dini se na kase free.
Begin the cabina for Ansi, because I say London.
Ejo kwabina fori yemkwe.
You every idea area.
That's right.
Assembly about piano.
That's right.
Well, when you say, my no. And then programming is here, the army, the catch.
Yeah.
And the special day, we have my name because I was the programming team in America. Dear America, I think I'm better than catching million man, Yano Munya, don't go back.
fire life. And justice and law and ma. Onuma, there's a law, I do matter kuma. I saw I'm going to make a like 2 already. And that's what they are. Some maybe can offer the program. But who is in the way? Tired. Oh, my God, here, I can't have nothing. What I can be said, time, there is a time for everything.
That's right.
Mr. Bidago can say, time will tell. Now, I saw I'm going to make a tell of the appointment. Now, before I did the free, you me, and I would not be should be 2 months because I'm about to free Ghana. You were here for the mutual. How many months in it? I think that possible a year. That day, I'm telling you back there. I'm making it, the cracker, I'm making it, the document. I don't know, but they are like us. Okay, they say, why I don't know Makubiano? There is nothing we can do. So, what the pressure my the message be aqua? Can I let you work on aquati? Into Mudia on them. How much is it on my busy? Into Munya, but I made a little chances of now. Me, promise the young, but I mean, because today, no, I'm not going to Ghana. To the only pressure my lawyer. Why I throw my son in the Kuma, the big man has a message. I come home. Or come on, we are one in it. What do you mean? But the other day, I would say, I mean, I would take you. Then I thought my yard, Dan and I'm fair. Over the message my life. I'm a take a time. They're quite out of time. Gamomino, but they could actually take a moving to the message. I do win a father, and I said, yeah, you win the moving from the program. I got to find Kodia, and Otiano, they're boom sorry. The man, and the man said, we have one of them. Miss me, I can see it. Time now, I can't want to dig that. What are they quite near with it? The population, my message, there was send out some pie attention. Not half my penny and drink, but because we'll be your work, Mama. Now, I guess it. Why are just again, 9 years, 1 day, yeah, that's our game. Papa. Within your did it, I hear you. The Danbury, I remember the answer. That makes your monk be an other set. And west to west, necessarily, almost the baby said, I do it. I check it here in Yamaha. It's the numbers of my paper. That may care over the only never had the query. It is only had to be a noise almost here. It is the air fresh air. The Shankarami, or more design, and a power demo. It is much service for them. What do I name my lawyer or a professor? Lawyer 1. So you can not trust again ABC and some way possible one. But what they have to bring us at ABC now they are Manque ADR. Now they create ABC name to idea or the Conquadia because it's not why I check every now and then at the corner no way. Not on top of the bill shabby. So that's a book of a computer one. They are called Mama Julia 9 o'clock. No, yes, won't go to not to no, yes. Intimate representative for them. The lawyer the Cabiano, my patent is a vampire. That is it.
Yes, so yeda wase. We dear Masumwa and to Wasie, a wiema nkunimdie. Ese se unya ento Wasie, a pia aboa anta. Thank you for chipping in because I'm very feeding the crowd. Entitia, Anna Umuna Koma. I san it here. You say aboa entitia so oni afuru and so that's with the demon. Adwimboninti ana aboa koto oni tire no. Na important say adibia wo ya fa akomapa. Nyagidie ese de wo ye no ebeye yie ama. Very key. Enti no mesre mu pi. So case bi mpo lawyer bi o enye se lawyer da konkwa na so fi se acha na se echa me ma na nyo nwa because they say home office for now I can plain say they are short of staff, they are struggling, and also no they cannot promise people say even make a decision within 2 months and I say within 3 months, but they are doing everything that they can. And it's all the application akwa to na say your friend is saying human rights application bus 250 Libya mystery P say either say ubinya to boss here because obi wo ha obepre apre me amani hu bi obi di case breme or pressure MP o yedede say wo Ghana because obi ben na oni akwa wakofa death certificate na say o ye ayie afi ade ne baya enipa so obekọ Ghana in December. Enti home office record no wo se ukọ ayie at the end of August. Na oma rush MP abem ene ne manema omohumobo e de ama wontem. Na se wa anko August no na December na wo ba bekọ ayie na. Ufi se next time bi mo no se obi bejira on se ne bibia wu a ebe fi nipa no. Enti let's try not to abuse situations and circumstances because the oye ye no e be affect obi bad way. Ebia na e yampasa daachi bi obi bibia wu a eso okọ Ghana within a very short period of time. Ebia do ye yenti case we can they look at records. Say they look at who is going, who is coming. Enti no say wa anko na say different research na so hu say or rush the visa na krama wa anko. Next time because we need take krana because any we need nti. Enti we should not abuse some of these you find say leveling now so because anybody say I was disappointed I make a come against you know I said pressure the man mean no visa na ba no da so tia and so enya maye you swear God you said all sorts MP abem wakofa death certificate na ke kan ni nyina ba also ko year August and end of August I didn't be do yet ya onye wa gene kra say wo ko August December mum na abeko enti no sa na abuse of the process. And to go say, next time, Obi Bekan, not me as a lawyer, crown, and begin to doubt people. Now, what more about the Home Office? And you're very careful. My idea, you're fair to the system and also to be fair to others. Because some people may have genuine reasons as to why their cases have to be escalated. And you know, say, who plays our games, Sana, as I know, we see Obi Hukwain. Tibesemu P, Mom, yes, I did, and Munjai. Sadiani is serious. Now you need to be fair enough, and yet we can do it that way. Entina yadamasipi Yankopon ensure munyina so na edie ya yebese shia next week. Yefa last phone call na fi yemfa dwumedie na emra na wiye. Na chese ye twa phone call so na chese de nyumi enemu. Yes, na bompata hene ye chiachia. Memo bia ma pressure eye. Yes, Mr. Daniel boy your church show and every baby will be around. Yes, Madam Paulina Coffee your church show baby will be around. Yes, Billy Boat your church show baby will be around. Abina Amufa baby will be also your church show. Yes, could you 24 from Pacoso was your church show baby will be around. Cause I don't mistake to change the place. We will make it baby. Way back when I started talking, it's just say you never go worry. When you tell me say yes, Mr. Emmanuel Sean, Mr. Armsway, your church shall never baby I will be around. Yes, Madam Edu Amankwa Efua baby will be as your church shall never Mr. Moses Bar Buama was baby will be your church show the king of Bompata. All the guests on TV. Yes, Madam Epia Santua Jima, your church shall be will be around. When some breast one down me, someone kill me, someone tell me why. Therefore stop, cause me some life. Hey, Mr. Kwesi Gate, your church shall be will be around. When you say be a record call. Because they can post, hey, I see one camera. Some should buy them pizza, some should buy them burger, some should say Bamantaba. This pressure they lie, I won't go, hey, bye bye. This is when you do the way you love this song, Yes, Madam Deborah Opoku Sefaya Chia will be and every and pay. Yes, Nana Akosia Jam Kroma Ofori at the first baby will be a church. Happy birthday, so when you say you enjoyed your birthday. Yes, Mr. Benjamin Opoku baby will be a church show. Yes, I am the champion lawyer. Yes, Miara Yonko. Yes, Mr. James Alote. Mr. James Alote will be a church show and anope and every and enemy. So, who was swindling? I say you want any items to be removed, and I just say, welcome to Mr. James Alote. Number 1. Yes, Santa Cruz, maybe I will be at your church. Don't let anyone give you pressure. Yes, man, we have to teach them. Yes, Mr. Mama. Where are we? Yes, Christian Obedi, Madam Scotland, British accent number 1. Your church on every baby will be around. Yes, Mr. Benjamin Bracco, your church baby will be around. Him say baby or record Yes, Oliver Maxwell will see a church baby will be around. Will be around. Yens me amodi so facha ye dine Dawson is non-stop. Etisana. Yes, this program was brought to you by Justice and Law Solicitors, Unit 35B, 49 Ephra Road, Brixton, London, SW2 1BZ. Our telephone number is 0207 993 5976 or 07538 969 589. My name is David Darkham of Justice and Law Solicitors. We cover all areas of immigration and nationality law of the United Kingdom. We also cover employment law, employment dispute, employment tribunal cases. We also do family law if you are doing a divorce, contested or uncontested. If you have family law issues, child arrangement orders, by all means, you can also get in touch with us. If you have contact order, if you want to apply for contact order, you can also get in touch with us. Residence order, non-molestation orders, by all means, you can contact Justice and Law Solicitors, and many more. If you want to apply for Ghana passport and you have been asked to do affidavit, by all means, you can also contact us and we can draft acceptable affidavit for you. If you have changed your name, change of name by deed poll, by all means, you can also contact us. If you want to draft tenancy agreement, by all means, you can contact us. So all areas of legal documents that you want us to help you with, get in touch. Justice and Law Solicitors, we believe that through operation of the law, we can achieve justice for you. We open our office Monday to Friday from 9:30 to 5:30. Get in touch and book an appointment. Come and see me on one-to-one, and we will guide you through sometimes the complications of the UK law to ensure that you achieve your destiny and you achieve your goal. I believe that through operation of the law, we can always achieve justice. Justice for the poor, justice for the needy. Because legal and the law is an expensive business. Our rates, our prices are affordable. You contact us, try us, and no one will say no more. You will be the ambassador of Justice and Law Solicitors. Once you try us, there is no turning back. We thank you very much for joining us, and we thank you very much for your continual support. May the Lord Almighty God bless you all. and for tuning in and for supporting what we do. We really, really appreciate you, and we appreciate your prayers and also your thoughts and for your support. Without you, there will be no me. Without you, there will be no Justice and Law. Without you, there will be no Fire Life Radio. Without you, there will be no Little Green Nurseries. We thank you all for your continual support and many more to come. We thank you once again. God bless you all. Tiafa nyumwe entwa ya nase. No pressure.
Baby, they give me precious. Baby, they give me precious. She dey call me on my telephone. They ask me why I don't go. Baby, why you do me so? Don't be say I'm too low. Maybe you give me break, 'cause I don't dey shake. Could tell in the place. We go make it hit. Down the window, down the window. Way back when I started talking, you sure say you never go worry. When you tell me say, baby, I know they got you. Now you they give me dresses. Now you they give me dresses. Now you they give me dresses. All the girls won't see me, all the girls won't feel me, all the girls won't try me, 'cause I have petroleum company. When some girls won't die me, someone kill me, someone tell me why. They first stop, 'cause we sound like them they play some song, where they go like ta-ta-ta-ta. Where all the girls they come close, hey, I see one camera. Some say buy them pizza, some say buy them burger, where some say pamangaba. This pressure they lie, I won't go, hey, bye-bye. This is when you do the way you love the this song, you say why. Say me name you, better come, mommy won't so say why. Let's see my pressure, yeah. She dey give me pressure, pressure, pressure. Myself I dey wonder. Now I don't tire. I will stand Wahala. With this song, she dey give me pressure, pressure, pressure.